Hi, everyone. I just wanted to share a couple things real quick that I feel the Lord wants me to share. I only have a few minutes. I work from home and I'm on my lunch break, and so I don't have a lot of time, but I thought there's a couple things that was really important to share. One is just about sharing the gospel when you are somebody who is more of an introvert and it's very uncomfortable to just go up and talk to people. I am one of those people. Even this is kind of awkward for me, but I just really believe that God has not called us, or He's called all of us to share the gospel, but we all do it in different ways. As the Bible says in 1 Corinthians 12, we are not all called to be pastors or preachers or teachers. However, we are all called to be Jesus to the world. And so I just wanted to share because I'm more of an introverted kind of person. I don't typically, I have a hard time talking for a long time to people, and I just can never like pull the words out of my head. Even this is kind of tricky for me. But for me, what I have found is I like to get gospel tracts and I just drop them places, like especially mostly for me, it's when I'm grocery shopping at the store. I like to leave them sometimes around the store, usually at the checkout. Like if there's a self checkout, I'll leave a couple tracts sitting there or in the shopping cart. I just really felt like encouraging those of you who are also introverts that sharing the gospel doesn't always look the same for everybody. And just because you're not out there, out on the street preaching to people does not mean that you cannot plant seeds and share the gospel just like anybody else. So I wanted to put a little plug in there's a website, and I get nothing from this. I don't get commission or anything, but the website that I go to is called Moments with the Book. It is mwtb.org, and they have just wonderful tracks, and they're really inexpensive. I think that's like you can get like 20 of them for $2.50, or you can get 100 for like $7 or something. And then when they send them to you, they usually send samples of different ones, and they're really good. I have a couple sitting here. This one, I guess that looks backwards on there, but that is my favorite one, about Jesus coming soon. There's and then they have so many different kinds, but then they have these kinds that, can you see that? Yeah, when you tip them, they do that, and there's stuff on it. They're great, and they're cheap, and it's a way that you can share the gospel if you are not comfortable getting out there and preaching. And I also think that not everybody is receptive that way. Like all the people out there who are unbelievers, there's different ones who are going to respond to different ways of witnessing, and some of them are just very resistant to the preaching type. But if it's more subtle, or the Lord leads them to pick up a track somewhere, and sometimes it's just by being in somebody's life and being an example of love and joy and peace, and people see that, and that is a witness for Jesus. So anyway, that was what was on my mind, because if you're like me, maybe you feel like what you're doing is not significant because you're not out there, really out there, up there speaking or preaching or whatever. But that's not true. We all have our individual giftings, and everyone is just as important as the other. So anyway, I hope that encourages somebody today. If you're feeling like I had felt before, just wanted to throw that out there. Get some tracks if that's something that's more appealing to you and more comfortable, and that can really plant some seeds. I think we'll be amazed when we get to heaven sometime and find, wow, there's these people here because somebody picked up a tract in a shopping cart. And I always pray over them every time as I'm setting them there. I say a prayer that the Lord will lead the right person to that tract who needs it. So anyway, that's what I wanted to share. And then look at my notes. Oh, the other thing was about left behind letters. That's something, especially as an introvert too, it's not like way out there, and it's something important you can do. Leave a left behind letter in your house. I have printed out a few copies and folded them, put them in Bibles around my house. I have an unsaved daughter, and hopefully, she won't be here, but if she is, I mean, she already knows all the things about the rapture, but still, I think that would be helpful, and plus anybody else who finds it. So if you go to a YouTube channel, Watchman River, he has in his channel information, I think, or in the description boxes, a whole bunch of websites where you can print those off. There's different samples of Left Behind letters. And then there's also a website I think it's called It Is Written. There are some on there too, but that's something I think is important to do also. And yeah, that's really all I had to share today. I just really felt led to come on and talk about a couple things. And I think that's it. I'm going to go on my lunch break, and I may be back in the near future with another short snippet of something to share. Thank you for listening. Talk to y'all later.